million. And of course, speaking of Game Zone Quick, we are going through some of the backup runs right now, and this was another fantastic backup run. No more heroes. I'm thinking of another game entirely. Oh, Adrian, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I was good up until my mind. Yeah.
Oh, it happens. It happens.
Oh yeah. I actually picked up this game for the first time last year and really loved it. So I'm excited to see what this run looks like.
Yeah, it's a heck of a run. So
whenever you're ready.
Introduce myself. So I am Adrian VG. Call me Adrian or VG, but most people call me Adrian these days. And we are running No More Heroes, the game that started all. So we are running any % New Game Plus Suite. So it's the lowest difficulty. New Game Plus means we already have all of the strength upgrades, the best katana. Enemies basically die just by me looking at them funny. We are running the Switch version today. It originally released on the Wii, 2007, 2008. It got a mixed PS3 and a one-off 360 port. And then this is the Switch version now. It's a very good version, some caveats here and there. But it's much faster than the Wii version if you've only played the Wii version. So with that, I am ready to count down. So on 3, 2, 1, let's jam. It's a small little bit. Here we have Travis whistling the leitmotif of the entire series. It's a pretty smart thing to do, since this game uses the Theme and Variation soundtrack. Uses the same melody for a lot of different pieces of music. And it was nice of them to just have it right there. So you know what I said about enemies dying just by me looking at them funny? Well, it means this. So obviously this is the first level, but on the first level enemies die to this jump slash. We call it the demon slash in the community. The reason being is that you get the power from one of the characters named Lavikov, and they're called memory powers, or powers based on Killer 7 characters. Suda51 was the creator of this game and Killer 7, and a bunch of other great games. So we call it the Demon Slash. It's a small little nod to Killer 7, and it's a cool name.
Can we talk about how the sword is a knockoff of another type of sword here?
Oh yes. So we have what's called a beam katana, but for reasons that are pretty obvious, they couldn't just say a lightsaber. This game actually has quite a number of Star Wars references. We'll get into those later. But yeah, the beam katana is the most famous weapon of the game. And I have the strongest weapon, so along with being the final katana, I actually have infinite battery. So I don't need to worry about charging my katana or anything. It's pretty much strong from the get-go. Hug the wall here to make this enemy spawn a little bit faster. So the Demon Slash is pretty heavy early on, but as we get later into the run, even the very first level after this, we won't be relying on it as much. It's useful for some boss fights, but generally we rely on what's called parrying. So you've seen me do it a few times here, but I'll do it more. So it's a technique that isn't very well known, mainly because the game doesn't tell you about it. So the way it works is that when an enemy is about to hit you, when their attack's about to hit you, you hit the lock-on button. And if you time it just right, you'll see like a small little flash and a different sound effect. And after you hear that, you would press the attack button. And what will happen is you get a fully charged attack that doesn't waste any battery. In this case, since we have infinite battery, that's a non-issue, but really, it's a staple of the run. And let me do it right here. Yep, no need to charge. Oh, and for those wondering in chat, I am using motion controls right now. You might hear me knocking against the wires right now, or maybe against my chair. But yeah, to me, the No More Heroes isn't really No More Heroes without motion controls.
Now, is that something that's required for the speedrun, or is that's just personal preference?
It's a personal preference, I was going to say. Thank you for asking. So the Switch port is great in that you actually have the option to use either motion controls or a regular gamepad with no motion controls. The Wii version had motion controls only, and the PS3 version, it had gamepad controls as well as PS Move controls. But I don't know too many people who had a PS Move. I'm not sure if it's that much an improvement. I'm going to assume yes. Motion controls for No More Heroes is always a plus in my book.
It's great to watch.
Oh, thank you. Alas, this is one of the not so fun parts of the run, but we'll take advantage of it now. So this game is nice in that you can skip all cutscenes, but it's not nice in that you have all of these phone calls before each boss battle. It's amusing dialogue, but obviously in a speed run, we don't really like them so much. If nothing else, it gives me time for a little bit of exposition. So, as you can see, enemies are dying like within seconds, within basically just one hit. So don't take your eyes off the screen. We're going to get to Death Metal, the very first boss. Death Metal, he's a sort of count. His real name is Count Townsend. And he's a sort of older assassin. Travis has this great speech where he sort of monologues a bit about how he sees himself in Death Metal. He could become Death Metal. Young rookies like him are coming to kill off the older assassins, but we won't get to hear that speech at all, as great as it is, and it's admittedly a little bit hard to listen to with all the clanging katanas. So, like I said, don't take your eyes off the screen. It's a very quick fight. Bad move. Ooh, I've never seen him behave this way.
Looking at my future self.
And that was him.
Nice.
That was about 20 seconds, 30 seconons.
So when you said that you'd never seen him behave that way before, would that be I've never seen that before?
Yeah. Yep. It's not GDQ without that's never happened before. So I guess to explain what just happened there, if you don't know what happened, so the first move he did was quite good in that he gave me an attack that I could parry. That gave me a fully charged attack. But then he was doing this weird floundering thing, like he wasn't really doing anything. I was kind of wondering, wait a minute, he has this clone attack where he clones himself, which we basically never see in any % New Game Plus. And then he jumped. It was very strange, but he gave me another parry. And I was able to do a charge attack. This game doesn't tell you what parrying is. It's something that I guess I didn't know about. I think I read about it online. And if you look at very early runs, at the early days, it was like a Splicer Child and I, shout out to the Splicer. And early runs, we did not do that much parrying at all. It was actually, when we first implemented it, we didn't really have a strategy with it. It was just, if we got it, we got it. But parrying it's like a staple of the run. If you can't parry, then you would get some good times, but if you want to really push the run, you need to learn how to parry. Because this is New Game Plus, we don't have to do any of the side jobs. We have all the money. Normally, Travis is supposed to work for his fun. He's supposed to sort of the subversion of the power fantasy. Normally, he can't get it, but hey, we did all the work beforehand. So between levels, the only thing that we need to do is drop off the money, run back to the motel, get a phone call, and then run.
I enjoy how this game takes speedrunning to a somewhat literal sense.
Yeah, it's essentially a boss rush mode. And I see chat right now. Yep, we have a cat. Her name is Jean. Remember that name. And it's actually, I'm not sure who was the one who started it or who the ones pointed out, but our cat Jean, she's often in our room and she's doing random things. Sometimes she's just walking around. But there we saw Jean, on the fan. I'm not sure if anybody caught that. But we consider it sort of like a good luck charm when Jean is on the fan. I always point it out. So it's a fun thing. I mean, if you want me to pet Jean, I can do that later, but I don't know. It wastes some time. I know, can we do that here?
I think so.
All right. Subtitles, should I turn off the subtitles? I mean, I like subtitles.
That I'm not 100%.
Anyway, oh, let me know. I can just an option. But a quick drive to the first boss, or I guess second boss. First boss after the first boss. Now here is where after the first level, second level, where you'll see parrying really come to shine.
Chat is just currently spamming cat.
I don't blame them. And one more guy. Let's knock him down. Pet the cat. All right. All right. So that was, I'd say, a beautiful room, but like honestly, so I don't fully understand the AI in this game. It's at best I know is that some enemies are pretty consistent and some aren't. These enemies are very consistent. So these parries, I can do these parries in my sleep. The same enemies do it. It's a very clean, it's very satisfying to do. There is some variance in that you can't always rely on the enemies to do the correct thing at all times. So like, see right there, the first enemy that I ran into in the room, did not let me parry. So I sort of walked forward and then waited for someone else to parry. It's a bit of a risk, but you kind of have to go for it. Oh, and we're coming up. I should have said a bit more earlier, but baseball. This is the one bit that we don't really get. On Wii, it works pretty well, but I actually have to use my Joy-Con as a bat.
Oh.
And it's the one sour part of the run on the Switch version. Oh, well, if nothing else, I'm consistent. That is consistency. I'm almost more impressed that I got one per ball. So we don't really get it. So the Switch port is very good. I'd say it's like 90% there. There's some weirdness here and there. It's a very good port. Like if you have a Switch and you either want to play it for the first time or you want to revisit it, I strongly recommend it. It's a very good choice. But there's just some wonkiness here and there. Nothing too big. Oh, and here's a moment where the enemies did not behave the way I like them to. But it ultimately worked out. Yeah, we've talked about it for so much in the Discord. We do have a Suda51 speedrunning Discord. And we are a small but very enthusiastic crowd. In fact, a lot of the Discord is here. Much appreciated, everyone. And we talked for ages about how much we dislike baseball. We're thinking about different ways to, what's the best way to do baseball. So I've been doing sort of like a horseshoe, like in the air with my Joy-Con, to mixed results. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. How? This is.
One could say you're getting a home run.
Oh. Oh, sorry, just concentrating. Okay, I'll take that. So I'm gonna knock this homer right out of the park.
Hey, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, baseball is actually a recurring motif in Suda51's runs. It's not necessarily the most prominent, but like this game has baseball. The Silver Case, the very first Grasshopper manufacturer game, has baseball. TSA, the third No More Heroes game, has a Badman, who is a baseball-wielding assassin. And there's also another boss, we'll see her later, named Bad Girl, who is also baseball. So pay attention enough, and you'll see a lot of baseball references. Heck, someone referenced Diabolical Pitch, which is a baseball game for the Kinect, created by Grasshopper Manufacturer. Oh, I'm not sure if someone answered. I saw this in chat when I was able to view. Yes, there is parrying in No More Heroes 2. It works a little differently, but yes, there is parrying.
And since we were talking in Azure Gumball that their new game is coming out in a couple of days, their newest game came out a couple months ago, right?
Yeah.
For No More Heroes.
Yeah. Yep, No More Heroes 3, the 4th No More Heroes game. It's very good. I haven't done too much running of it yet, but I enjoy it a lot. That being said, you need to play TSA first. Travis Strikes Again, also a very good game. It goes No More Heroes 1, No More Heroes 2, TSA, and then No More Heroes 3. Oh, and if you're wondering why I am doing this, it was learned recently, well, rather confirmed recently, that if you do a forward slash while running, it's slightly faster than just walking, and the person who discovered that was a Loser. I'm not insulting him, that's his handle. Loser, who's actually not a speedrunner. They were just someone who was curious and decided to do the recording of themselves. We weren't actually sure if that was faster, simply because it's not that much faster, but they tested it over a wide distance, and it shows that yes, it is faster. So you'll see me, throwing in some slashes. It's fairly new. I haven't been doing it long. And for those wondering in chat what pairing is, again, for those tuning in, welcome. I'll show you what pairing is, but first we have Dr. Peace. Let me explain who he is. Dr. Peace, he's not a doctor, he's a detective. His real name, which is said on a trading card in this game, is Pastel Branquino. He gets a song before he starts. So, oh, bad luck. So parrying is when you press, oh, bad luck. You press the lock on button at the same time an enemy attack is going to collide with you. And then you press the attack button after that. Let me do it. Oh, he's not letting me do it. Well, I guess we'll show it after this. Okay. So this is a scripted event, but of course the battle where I say, oh, let me show you how to parry, is the one fight where he doesn't let me parry. Small cutscene skip. All right, that was an okay fight. Not great, but like I said, of course, of all fights, I talk about the parrying, and then the parrying doesn't happen. Oh, and if you're wondering,
places to showcase it.
No, if you're wondering, normally on a new game there would be like a chest you have to open, and then you would run to the exit. But because this is New Game Plus, I sort of do a small awkward scramble to the exit after I beat the boss. So okay, I heard chat. You want the cat? You want Jean? You want me to pet Jean? All right. Wait, first
always ask.
Fair enough. All right, so here you go. I will rush it ever so slightly. So there are a couple of places where Jean will be, but I'm pressing the A button. I'm mashing it furiously, making it go faster, but it's not going faster. But there you go. I'll do it again later, if you so insist. Oh, another thing, before I forget, before it leaves my brain. So I actually have I guess, I don't know, is it pretentious for me to say, oh, I've done a lot of reading about this game, but, I'm a big fan of Suda 51. It's basically my thing on the internet. It's what my channel is based on, so I've read a lot of interviews, I own a number of special editions, stuff like that, and I've learned a lot of small facts about this game that, again, they're only in, like, maybe a book here or there, an interview here or there. I actually have a spreadsheet of all the interviews I could find. But anyway, what I'm saying here is that one small fact about Dr. Peace there that I learned is that apparently he's meant to be a character based on sort of Charles Bronson, that actor, characters that he would play. There are a lot of different film points of reference. For instance, the core of this game is based on the film El Topo. It's a very surreal Mexican film. I strongly recommend it. Albeit, you have to be in the mood. It's a very strange film, rather intense. But it is the basis of this game. It's like, what? A man finds enlightenment by attempting to kill 3 gun masters, and that's where Suda 51 sort of got the idea of a set amount of assassins, albeit this game has 10. Okay, and next up, we're going to school. Not the most likely place for an assassination fight in most people's eyes, but hey, this is Stand to Destroy. Okay, I'm gonna say right.
Is it?
Oh, I was gonna say.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'll say. So this is the worst area in the game. This outdoor area is very big, and the enemies don't behave. Anyway, you were saying?
How hard is it to control the bike with the Joy-Cons?
Ooh, see, I was gonna get into that. Ooh, that almost bad. It's actually pretty consistent. So what I'm doing there is, thank you for reminding me because I meant to explain it, but I'm basically twisting the Joy-Con and pressing the B button in order to do those quick turns. Ooh, not Miss Berry. But it's actually pretty consistent. It's basically the same as the Wii version. It works the same way. Sorry, I was a bit distracted, but I can explain it more once I get to a bike section, but it's pretty consistent. Sometimes I'll get like a loose gesture not being picked up right, as in you'll turn the opposite way, but it's pretty consistent once you learn how to do it. I'll admit though, it's kind of my Achilles heel to an extent. I've gotten better at it in the recent years, but early on, my driving was not very good. It's definitely something that, you have to learn on the way. Have to learn to do? Alright, if you insist. Yes, I'm using motion controls. I do the twist. So this is what we call, at least I call it, fire hallways. You'll see these enemies have weapons on fire. If you do get lit on fire, which never happens, knock on wood, never happens. If we did get lit on fire, rather than going to an extinguisher, I just run to the end of the level because I have enough health to tank it, and going to an extinguisher would lose time. But again, knock on wood, but in my many years of running New Game Plus, I think the amount of times I've gotten hit by a fire dude can be counted on one hand. And, yep, last fire guy. Easy. Okay, we'll come across... thank you. Come across Travis Touchdown's worst enemy, water. Does this little funny wobble all the way to the end.
That animation.
Yep, it's great. I was saying on my stream the other day, someone should cosplay as Travis, but this Travis specifically. like him, like sopping wet, just doing a funny little dance. Trying to find the exit they call the sprinkler system. And here's where we run all the way to the end. So I mentioned before that the opening area is pretty unreliable. The enemies aren't very nice. And this area too, this hallway run, the enemies tend not to be nice. So far they're liking me now, but they're not very consistent. Oh, this is parrying. Sorry, I meant to say it before. Got the chance. So hit the lock-on button right as your katana is about to collide with their attack. Then press the attack button, and it'll do a fully charged attack with no battery loss. We do it right now. Yep, there you go. You saw the flashing light. You heard the sound effect. You saw the charge attack. This is the Mark III, the last katana. It actually has 3 slashes. Most of the time you don't need 3 slashes. For bosses you do, obviously, because they have more health. Or here, if you're, say, trying to kill a group of enemy at once. But say if you have 2 enemies you want to kill at once, you might want to do 1 slash. And you can delay it a bit just by pressing the A button, like, a bit slower. Oh, I do that. Skip cutscene, accidentally hit the pause button again. Okay, oh, the gym is actually also pretty inconsistent because there are a lot of enemies. They don't behave well. Ooh. There we go. And they tend to surround you. Ooh, that was bad. If you have time, or I don't know, if you're doubting your parrying ability, just charging the slash attack is also a good option. For bosses, we use it especially. Oof. One minor thing, when you're doing a down stab like this, you have iframes, which I tried to time it, and I timed it there, but I somehow had the iframes. It was... I'll take it, but it was weird. Have another phone call. Gives me time to talk about Shinobu. So Shinobu, her real name, Charlotte Jacobs. She's an assassin.
Hey, Travis.
And she mentioned in her cutscene that, you know, she's having a hard time hiding her true self to all of her peers. And for some reason, she erroneously believes that we killed her father. And Travis later describes her father, Master Jacobs, as his mentor. Never mind the fact that apparently he never met Master Jacobs. He only watched his tapes. So I guess that counts as a master. It's all relative. And here's where I warn you all again. Don't leave, don't blink. This is possibly the fastest fight in the game. You blink and the fight's over, so enter. Okay. It's all parries. She's dead. That was... what was that? That was a 17-second fight.
Wow.
And I actually had my splits going. That was a gold. So
nice.
That was... she did the best behavior possible.
That fight took me forever the first time I played this game.
Oh yeah, she is a wall. She has a ton of iframes, and her iframes actually increase as the fight goes on. If you try to fight her on the highest difficulty, she is... unless you have your parrying and your general skills up to par, it's the toughest fight in the game. I've done a no damage, bitter bloodberry only run, so essentially the hardest difficulty, lowest strength, lowest katana, basically as minimum as you could be. And that was easily the hardest, probably top 3 hardest. So it feels very satisfying and very cathartic to fight her in just a few seconds. Yes, we have a cat. Yes, I know. Oh.
Aww. Oh, the cute little meow too.
Mm-hmm. So here we have the, yet again, going to the bank. Small little run here. You have to watch out for your boosting, so we're running because we mentioned Lava Cop. This is another Lava Cop power, like the Jump Slash, the Demon Slash. This gives us the ability to run in non-combat situations, but I do have to watch out for my boost here. That was pretty good. If I were to let my boost drain, then I would have to wait for like a second or two, which obviously wastes time. So yeah, Lava Cop, they're all powers based on Killer 7. Killer 7 was the main project of Grasshopper manufacturer of Suda51 before this. And there are a ton of Killer 7 references. None really direct. There are no direct references, mainly because Capcom is the main owner of Killer 7. They didn't necessarily have the right to do it. So Suda51 sort of skirts around it in these ways. And another thing is that Suda51 described No More Heroes 1 as a reaction to Killer 7. In many ways, this game it's based on the same foundation. Obviously the same creator, the same trimmings, but it's meant to be, a reaction. You have, rather than a set of 7 characters in Killer 7, you have, one main protagonist. You have a convoluted story, a very good story in Killer 7, whereas you have a more streamlined setup in this game. Killer 7 is more political, whereas this game is more social. It's more about, consumerism, about entertainment, stuff like that. So the relationship between Killer 7 and No More Heroes is very interesting. You play one and it sort of changes your perspective about the other ones. Oh, and I want to point out, Stand to Destroy, it's meant to be based on a Californian city. I believe Suda51 said that it was meant to be based on the same city as Dirty Harry, which I think is San Francisco. And now we're taking the very classic Californian subway system. I've never been to California, but I'm assuming they don't have these there, so.
That's actually a great question.
I assumed it was just, pragmatic. It was a way to get Travis out of the city. But I find it kind of funny. Ooh, they're behaving badly. Oh, okay. That was... here's a case where if an enemy isn't really behaving, it's faster to just like do a few slashes and then do a demon slash because you won't get the death blow. You actually haven't seen too many death blows so far in the run because we try to avoid those. You know, it's when there's an arrow on screen. An arrow on screen, you do the gesture on your Wii remote, or sorry, Joy-Con is the switch, or I guess on your analog stick. And then after that, a slot machine rolls. We do not want the slot machine to roll because it could give us a power. With like maybe one or two exceptions, the slot machine roll is not very helpful. Most of the powers are slow, and even if you do get a sort of good power, it's ultimately just not very fun, and the odds are not in your favor. So here we have... Oh, yes.
Go ahead.
I was going to just say we have a Barrock Studios. We're in a filming studio now. Yeah, just want to point that out.
I was the amount of detail that happens, like when you stop running and the character still kind of moves ever so slightly.
Oh, yep, I love that. Ooh, so we've actually entered what I call the, I guess the gauntlet. So the mid-game of the run is the hardest part of the run. So we've entered the mid-game. The first few ranks are pretty consistent, the last few are consistent, but from here, we're on rank 7. All the way to rank 4 is the hard parts of the run. You have the annoying enemies, maybe not annoying bosses, but the least consistent bosses. So for warehouses 2 and 3, we go up to the second floor first. That way I get both waves on the bottom of spawn, so I can parry them and kill them, nice camera, all at once. Nice. Very nice. So yes, the mid-game is easily the hard part of the run, in every category. And yes, I have done a run on every category. Got more lightsaber guys. This is one of the easiest ways to take care of lightsaber guys, so I just do it. Just you knock them down with a demon slash, take care of them with a quick down slash. Ooh. And they're dead. Or parries, if you can parry them. In this case, you knock me down. Oh, don't want a death blow, but that's fine. You're gonna hear me lament later, but gun enemies are the worst enemy type in basically every No More Heroes game. And here's another phone call. I call this like a bathroom break phone call. It's the first of 2 calls where you can just drop the controller and walk away. And in fact, in my 100% notes for this game, because I've done runs of 100%, it is like in all caps, bathroom break. Yeah, 100% is like an 8-hour category, and I've done it twice, so you could say I'm dedicated.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm. I've done them both on Wii, only not Switch yet. I've actually been thinking, oh no, maybe I should go back and do it again, but I don't know. An 8-hour category, that takes dedication. I have other things to do. Oh, favorite category is any percent, new game, but I'll explain that later. So up here we have Destroy Man. He's a postal worker, but he sort of cosplays and does films on the side. His real name is John Harnett, which you learn from a card in this game that you have to collect. And I don't know, he's not a very nice guy. He pretends to be nice, and then he's not so nice. He tries to get a cheap shot on us. Alright, I need to focus here for a second, so I start off with a quick charge. And in general, most bosses rely on parrying, but not all of them, and Destroy Man is a boss that doesn't really give you a lot of attacks to parry. Oh, first try. Yep, you can knock that out of the air. Oh, but that's a parry. Good fight.
Nice job.
Thank you very much. I was lucky at the end there that he gave me a Destroy laser that I could parry. Destroy Man he's not the worst as far as inconsistency. Mainly because, well, you kind of have to rely on charge attacks anyway. Like, you go into the fight expecting not to get parried, so you act accordingly. Because he doesn't give you that many attacks to parry. And yep, you can knock him out, you can destroy, or rather you can reflect the energy ball there. You can also do that on the ground. I find it harder to do, but it does stun him when he's on the ground. Yeah, I've actually been getting pretty lucky with that recently. Sometimes there were times where I'm just sitting there struggling, and 5 times have happened, and I'm that dedicated. Normally, you're supposed to sorry, losing words here. Supposed to destroy some panels on the wall, and there's a cutscene for that. So, oh yeah, see you later, Destroy Man. See you in 3 years.
I saw in chat that I think someone didn't know you could actually dodge that attack or parry that attack, and I'm in that same boat as well.
Oh yeah, there are a lot of cool subtleties of the combat. I like to think of the combat as simple, but with a ton of depth underneath. Like, how many people knew about parrying? Of course, there's the issue.
I was going to mention that because there's a lot of lore that I didn't even know was in this game, and it's really kind of interesting to hear it all.
Oh yeah, I have been playing this game for Gene's on the fan for this game came out in 2007, 2008. I've been playing this game since it came out on the Wii version, which is about 14 years now. So this game has been part of me for a long time. Oh, and we could show you some driving. So here's where I do tilt my Joy-Con, press the B button, that gives me a quick turn. That also increases my battery, or rather puts my battery back to 100%. As you'll see here, jumping, which is done by flicking the Joy-Con if you have motion controls on, keeps your boost the same. So driving the bike is a mixture of some good jumping as well as some good quick turns, and not bad.
Still just a bite.
Now this level is, I would say, the worst in the game because it has a ton of gun guys. They sort of spawn in weird waves. This is a chapter I probably understand the least. I've gotten better at it, but it's a chapter I understand the least. I didn't learn all the patterns until like years after I'd even been running, let alone playing the game. Oh, come on. So I've been, the last few runs to prepare for this and for GDQ, I've sort of been just messing around a bit with different positioning and different sort of tactics. Normally I would, or I guess in the old days, I would sort of back up a bit, or rather I would go forward a bit. Now I've been backing up. And I'm charging a lot here because the enemies just don't like me to parry them. Oh, a small little thing with the Switch version, the water is purple. Small little error.
I've never noticed that until you just pointed it out. Huh.
Yep, it's not supposed to be that way, everyone. Like I said, the port is like 90% there. It is the version I would recommend to people. They've done some patching on it, and I've very much appreciated the patches. And you know what? I'd like a few more patches, okay? I'm gonna focus here, because there are, I count 5 waves. So these are 2 waves. I make a beeline for the lightsaber guy, and it's not necessarily faster, it's more of just a personal preference. Because I don't trust the lightsaber guys at all. And there we go. That should be all of them. If I counted right. Yep, cutscene. And that was perfect. Parry the bullets, and we're good.
Nice.
This level's going pretty well.
Yeah. I noticed this last in the last area, but you have a green katana beam, and the other ones kind of have a more kind of reddish katana beam.
Oh yeah.
Which is a nice nod.
Suda, when describing the film references, he, with his tongue in his cheek, I'm sure, said, "Oh, we're actually referencing Spaceballs. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge." Yeah, we know that. We know, Suda. We know what you really mean. I mean, Spaceballs is good too, but we know what you mean. Okay. Oh, and these enemy positions, they're fixed. They're not random. So I know where each enemy is before, before they come up. Oh, whoa.
Was that? Wait.
So the enemy hitboxes, they can linger on, and they also show up before enemies spawn in, which causes issues. Oh, but you were saying?
Was that barbed wire being okay there?
Oh, yeah. We hit barbed wire. It's fine. It's fine. And then center, kill everyone. And that was actually a really good level.
Oh, is that not? Oh, okay. It's like it's telling you as electrified barbed wire.
Oh, yes.
Ah, yeah.
All right, and this is a pretty long phone call. So up next, I think we have what could be called a fan favorite character. We have Holly Summers, known for being one of the more impactful, emotional boss fights of the game. Alas, she is one of the least consistent and annoying bosses in the game. So, you get your good with your bad, your yin and your yang, yin and your yang. So yeah, she has a sort of military theme with her. She has camo, or I guess a camo bikini on. She's also a model. She describes herself as an academic. Holly Summers, it's her real name. It's not her code name. And I believe she is Swedish. Oh, I believe she was based on a model. I think there was a model with a prosthetic leg that she was based on.
I know chat was really enjoying when you got here.
Yeah, I could tell too.
Yeah.
So the key with Holly is that there are a bunch of holes in the ground, and we don't want to fall into the holes. There's tactically use of falling into one of them to reset her position. She can run around a lot, so I'm going to be running very specifically here to not run into a hole, and I'll be running very specifically to not run into a hole. She does that. It's pretty consistent. Iframes when you have a charge attack. That's fine. Slash to make her stumble. Oh, I let go of the button, but I got a lucky parry. Oh, you saw that hole there. That was great.
Nice fight.
Glad I got that. A GDQ run. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So the reason why I don't want to fall into a hole is not just that it's slow, but it actually triggers a cutscene, and the cutscene has to load. Admittedly, on the Switch version, it matters a little bit less because the load times are so much better than the Wii version. That's the big thing as to why the Wii version, or rather the Switch version, is so fast, because the load times are so fast, and it's there's basically no lag, which is almost uncanny if you've been playing this game for a long time. Yeah, that was such a good fight.
Yeah. And I take it that transition screen, totally Spaceballs, right?
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we are not going to save. All right, will Gene be on the fan? No. All right, shall I do it again? We'll play with Gene.
Yeah, chat's enjoying it.
Fine. So I try to be a crowd pleaser. Oh. You can also play with Gene in all the other games? You can in 2. It's actually expanded to a mini game. You can in 3. There's a sort of different hook with Gene in TSA, but I guess you consider it playing. If you count finding her in levels playing. All right, here's another fun fact for you. Suda51 mentioned that the motel, the No More Heroes motel that we stay in, it is meant to be based off the motel from the Christopher Nolan flick, Memento, which is one of my favorite Nolan flicks and one of my favorite movies. Okay, Sylvia's partying. She didn't even tell us where to go. So, you know, how are we going to know where to get to the boss? All we know is that there's a rank 5 out there.
That's actually a great question. How do you know?
Oh, look at that. There's splotches of blood on the ground. Oh, that's grisly. Better follow him. But I'm not actually going to follow him because I know where to go. It's very funny because this game has had a number of different versions, a number of different revisions and slight changes. I own 10 different versions of the game, and I didn't just go, ooh, bad parking. I didn't just go to the store and, like, you know, ask the man, like, at the front desk, like, hey, give me 10 versions of this game. I have 10 individual specific versions of the game. And in the original Wii version, the JP and the PAL versions were both censored. So there was no blood, there was black ash. The boss kills were censored in very strange, strange and very strange ways. And for the blood trail that took me here, that led me here, it's straight up gone. They just did not put it there. There is no diegetic reason as how Travis is supposed to know where to go. It's on the map, but there's no reason diegetically for Travis to know. On the first PS3 revision, they caught that. So the first PS3 version it's called Heroes Paradise, and it's censored. So there's black ash as opposed to blood, and they actually caught that where there is a trail, but it's black, which is one good, but it also makes you think, well, did somebody leak oil? Because there's actually a body at the end of the trail showing where the blood came from. So the implication is that someone was leaking blood, or they dropped blood and just decided to lie down and take a nap or rather oil, lie down and take a nap in oil. It's very silly. The censored versions I think they're interesting, they're funny, and how they tried to censor the game. And of course I own, like I said, 10 versions, so I've seen it all. Oh, by the way, you don't have to kill anybody here. I'm literally running past everyone in case that wasn't obvious. Sorry, I got into a spiel about a specific thing, and then I forgot. Oh wait, I'm actually running a specific thing, but we're in a long hallway underneath the city. I guess the desert. Oh, dang it. So there's really not too much to say here. There's a bit of strategy. Oh. That's another thing. So the goal obviously is not to get knocked down, and if you see an enemy doing a charge attack, you want to knock them down. If you can, otherwise you try to run around. You also need to avoid the lasers. You have to listen to the sound effects. As part of the porting, the sound effects are slightly different here, so it actually took me a while. This chapter used to be a bit harder for me when I started running on Switch for that reason, because I was simply used to different sound effects. And we're chasing after this mysterious stranger. I wonder who he could be. I think we're about done here. Yep. Here's the one thing I like to do off it. If I have a lot of running, I just put the camera in front of me, and
these guys are chasing you.
Oh yeah, but these guys are afraid of phone calls because once a phone call happens, they run away.
Travis, hello? Continue forward and
Good times. I love doing that. Not too great of a level, but honestly, if you get hit like once or twice, it's not a big deal. It's a pretty simple level.
How are you feeling?
Get another phone call with Sylvia, the one arranging these ranking fights. And now we have a Let's Shake. Now, I've done a run of every category of this game, so I know this game pretty well, and let me just say that Let's Shake is the most consistent boss in the game. Regardless of difficulty, he is exactly the same, which makes him pretty great. He is possibly the best boss, if not the best boss in the game, for that very reason, in a run. So, once again, I'll give the obligatory don't blink. Just gonna run up, past past the save point. Get into the abyss here. Alright, we enter the boss fight, and... done. Yep, cutscene boss.
Wow.
Yep. Oh. Honestly, in all seriousness, Let's Shake is actually good for this exact reason. Like his level, it's he's like in the middle of some of the hardest levels in the game. The mid game is the hardest part of the run, as I said earlier. So he's actually a nice respite. You just need to run around some enemies. You don't even need to kill them. You have a small mental break, and it's very nice. In the middle of that scene, we also got introduced to some guy named Henry. I don't know. He was very mysterious. He was wearing a trench coat. He's Irish. Okay. Remember him later?
And I love the transitions. Where it just kind of fades into that silhouette.
Oh yeah, it's very stylish. Yeah, Grasshopper knows how to do style. Oh, there's a small thing. Whenever there's a load screens, there's a little small little star at the very bottom. And on the Wii version, you could you could press a button and it would go up, and then it even had a little physics to it if it bobbed down. But the load times are so fast in that you can barely lift it up. Like there, I tried to press the A button and it went up a bit, the star on the bottom right, but alas, we don't get to see it too much on the Switch version. Kids these days will never know the joy of mashing the A button and seeing the star in multiple
now
colors.
You're feeding it. Now you're feeding it.
There.
Had to.
Chat will really like that one.
Getting another letter telling us where to go. Or going to the subway again. Good old Californian subways. So I mentioned earlier that... Oh, yes, you?
Chat did say something about that, by the way.
Like I said, I'm a crowd pleaser, but I did mention that I have 10 versions of this game. And in case you're wondering what they are... Oh, bad turn. They are the 3 Wii versions, so North American PAL, JP. Then there are 3 PS3 versions, and then there's a one-off 360 port that never made it to the West. It was only JP. So that's 7 versions total. If I'm counting right. That actually might be more. Sorry, I have 10, it's just I have to count them in my head. So basically all the Wii versions, all the PS3 and the 360 versions, I own this game. I'm playing on the digital version, but I also own the limited run games edition, the physical version. Oh yeah, there are 4 PS3 versions and 1 360. I was miscounting, but there is a PC port of both this game and No More Heroes 2. No More Heroes 2 also got a revision, or I guess you call it a remaster, along with No More Heroes 1. It's also quite good, albeit a bit buggier. And they both released on PC. But I've heard mixed things about them. I think they've gotten a little better. I don't own the PC version myself, partially for that, but also because motion controls are, No More Heroes feels weird without motion controls. So. But hey, if someone could get a Wii remote working on the PC version, I might be tempted. Alright, this is a short level. Oof. Right, and here we
see a No More Heroes VR edition.
Wait, there's a No More Heroes VR?
No, I'm saying, do you ever foresee that being a thing?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised if someone makes it happen. And hey, we're in the middle of a shmup now. We're on our way to the boss, Harvey Moisewicz Volodarsky. He is a performer. We're going on a date with Sylvia. Here we decide to have a little bit of a nap, and we have a shmup. And actually, this shmup is very good. Honestly, for what's essentially a small little side game, it feels pretty strong. I kind of wish, I don't know, they may have considered expanding it more, or maybe they gave it another 2 levels, because you can play this shmup after you beat it for the first time in your room. And in fact, in the original Wii version, you would play with Wii Remote and Nunchuck, obviously, but they made you take off the nunchuck and then play the shmup with your Wii Remote on its side. And still, to this day, my brain still tries to tell me, like, you gotta remove the Wii Remote nunchuck, you gotta remove it, but no. So I'm getting used to it a bit more, but it still feels kind of weird.
Does the Wii version force you?
What was that?
Like, will it?
Oh, yeah, yes, the game will not continue on unless you remove your nunchuck.
Ah.
And you have to remember to put it back in, but the game tells you, so.
Oh, okay.
Well, managed to not get hit so far, that's not bad. Alright, for those that might be wondering what's going on now, I'm Adrian VG. I speedrun Suda 51 games, though in practice that mostly amounts to Killer 7 and No More Heroes, with some other things here and there. I've done some Flower Sun and Rain runs, some Silver Case runs, various things like that. I'll probably get hit here. Yep. That's fine. And we're in the middle of No More Heroes. We are going to the rank 4 boss, and we're just having a random shmup in the middle of it. So you can mash the button to make the your laser go faster. It's generally not too useful, but for the bigger enemies, it's definitely useful, and for the upcoming boss. So I'm gonna concentrate here. You can take care of these missiles with the slash. You don't actually need to shoot, but that's so ingrained in me since the Wii days that I just keep holding the button.
Let's see, when I play these type of games, I always have the button pressed anyways.
That was good. All right.
Nice.
Okay, we have the boss, because what's a shmup without a boss? And this is something I only realized like the other day, like literally 2 days ago. The boss actually takes damage as it's appearing, so here I'm just mashing. You can probably hear the Joy-Con against my knee here. And here I'm using the special attack. It's not very useful in the regular shmup level, but it destroys all the lasers. So here is where I'm using it to get rid of all the bullets, so I have freedom to mash. And this part is still uncanny to me because there's no lag in this version. The black hole attack used to do a ton of lag, but it's not laggy here, and it's actually a bit of a detriment as far as old habits, because I would depend on the lag to sort of adjust my aim, but it's fine. It's ultimately faster, but I'll be cranky about it. And here we have another long phone call. Alas, this is not a bathroom break call because you still need to move.
Come on. You can do this. You're
And one thing I want to point out is that it's a shmup, so obviously you have your ship, the Glastonbury is going forward in sort of like a narrow column. It can be viewed as foreshadowing to the rank 3 boss, which is sort of that same sort of setup. It's like, you go into a narrow column, you're going to the very end of the boss. So +1 foreshadowing. And we are currently walking to Harvey Moisewicz Wolodarski. Even I stumbled on that name. It's a very long name. He is a performer. Sylvia invited us to a date. And what better date than an assassination fight? And Harvey is, I would say, he's not the hardest boss. He's simply the least consistent boss in the game. So Harvey doesn't give you a lot of attacks to parry. So you can't rely on parrying. And you would think, oh, well, you can't parry, just charge up my beam katana. But you really can't rely on that too much because he teleports. And, he doesn't always teleport in your favor, so he's not hard, he's just rather annoying. You can get lucky, but I've been trying some strats. Even my last run, I thought I had an idea. Didn't quite work out, but gonna need a little bit of luck here. Oh, nice camera. That was me accidentally shifting the camera. Alright, so gotta focus here. And here's where I have to hope that he behaves. Oh, okay. Oh. Ooh. Yes, good. Gave me attack to parry. Whoa. Teleports are longer on this version for some reason. I don't really get why. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad. Or not. Oh. Okay. You know what? Good fight. That was almost bad.
In the camera shift, that seemed like that would make things a little bit trickier to play for.
Yes, it is.
Casual.
So it's actually much more. That was actually a lot better than I hoped, and it was almost really bad there. So he was about to do the QTE attack, where you have to. He puts you in like a magic box. You have to mash the button or shake your Joy-Con to get out. If you fail the QTE, it's a game over. You die. But that's not the issue, though. The issue is that it simply wastes a lot of time, and you can outrun the QTE attack because he sort of does a spotlight, and you can outrun it. But it's very hard to do when you're upside down. So I was very lucky. I threw in a Demon Slash. So bosses have a lot of super armor. They're invincible a lot of the time until they put they let down their guard. But the Demon Slash as well as charge attacks, they break through their super armor. So admittedly, it's a weakness of mine. I keep meaning to throw in more Demon Slash in my play, but I rely so much on parrying that kind of slips my mind. But hey, there's a moment where it worked.
Yeah, if it works, it works. I mean.
Mm-hmm. All right, we do another run.
The cat.
Okay, I want to throw a quick shout out because I meant to do it earlier and I forgot. So I was not the first runner of this game, and one inspiration of mine was Satoryu did some segmented runs back in the day. We're talking like 10, 12 years ago. It's not too long after the game release. Satoryu did some segmented New Game Plus runs, if anybody remembers what a segmented run is these days. And that was a major inspiration of mine, and yeah, so shoutouts to Satoryu, wherever you may be. Okay, and here's where we get a letter telling us to go to the bus. Just come back alive. Oh.
Oh.
There's Jean.
Cat's walking with you.
Where's she going? Well, we'll see her later. I'm
join in.
I don't blame her. Okay, do a quick turn. Now we're going to the bus station to go to Speed City, not to be confused with Electric Speed City. From Travis Strikes Again, albeit, I don't know. Anybody wants to assume they're related, I will back you up. Oh, I'm on the wrong side of traffic, which might not sound like a big deal, but cars do actually abide by traffic, so you actually have to watch out.
Fuck you, you little prick.
We have Speed Buster up next. So this is actually one of my favorite areas, this small little bus lot here, because it is one of the most consistent in the game. Because enemies here, they're very aggressive, which is good, because I can parry them. Ooh, that was one slash too many, but still good. So parrying, I'll mention again. Hit the lock-on button right as your katana is about to collide with her attack. You'll see a flash and get a different sound effect, and then you press the attack button. Oof. And then you can do a full charge attack with no battery loss. Of course, we have to ride the bus. Bus 51. Because of course. So I will say here, Travis's CQC is not very good. So for this section, you have to rely on charge attacks or parries. And if you're playing on the highest difficulty, you pretty much need to parry. If you don't know how to parry, if you play this on the highest difficulty, and heaven forbid you're using the Bloodberry, the first katana, ooh. This part is very, very challenging. Oh, whoa, he spawned way too quickly. Never seen that before.
So is that two?
Yep, that's number 2.
I was going to ask where the enemy spawns come from, but now I know. But I was just like, interesting.
Yeah, it's actually a little silly. They come out of the window, so it's like, what? Was there a car nearby, like next to us that we didn't see, or are they hanging out like on the side we didn't see them? Also, who's driving the bus?
That's also a great question. Who is driving the bus?
And this is another bathroom break area. Bathroom break phone call where I would drop my controller. I could go to the bathroom, maybe get a sandwich if I'm running 100% or something. I don't know.
Maybe the cat's driving the bus.
Ooh, plot twist. I like it. Yep, and Sylvia's just calling us a loser. No big deal. She's done it like for the last few phone calls.
Never forget that. Keep your feet on the ground. Your head at
So Speedbuster is a different boss. A different type of boss, that is. So for Speedbuster, there's a sort of strategy that we do, which I guess I'll not spoil too much, but the crux of the fight is that you have to go to her. We're sort of in this abandoned speed city, and we were trying to catch up to her. So, you know, I guess I'll have a secret or two, so I'll save the strategy that we're doing. But we come across her fighting Thunder Ryu, who is our mentor. Alas, we didn't get to see him because this is a speed run, but... As we're entering the sort of end game, you could say, Speedbuster is, I guess you could say, one of the more, I guess, despicable bosses. One of the bosses that has fewer redeeming features. The boss in this game, they sort of react to one another. They sort of build on each other. So, for instance, we had Death Metal and Dr. Peace as the first two bosses, and they are sort of older. They're older assassins. They're sort of like the old guard. And then after that, we fight Shinobu, who we literally fight in a school. She is the young rising up, and she talks about how she finds it very difficult to hide her true self. Then after that, we go to Destroy Man, who his cutscene is one of my favorites in the game, and it's like he's blatantly, obviously, like acting too hard to be nice. So he is doing a bad job at hiding who he really is. So. That's one thing I really love about this game is how the bosses like react to each other, like thematically in terms of play style and cutscenes, direction. So doing a demon slash propels you forward, and I was trying to get into the door. It's not a big deal. So I'm gonna tank a few hits. My cycle is off. That's fine. I'm sticking on the right side. You might be wondering why I'm doing this if you play this game. Stay tuned. Oh yes, the music to this game is very good. This track is very nice. It has the best name of any piece of music I've ever heard. So this boss theme right here, its full name is Mach 13 Elephant Explosion.
That's a name.
That's a name, all right.
That's a name for a song.
All right, so I need to focus here for just a second. So there is a small trick here. So normally you have to knock down a telephone pole, which hits her giant laser, deactivates it. But here, this is something I believe I learned from Satoru as well, from his speedruns. If you go from the right side, you can actually just run until the cutscene triggered.
Oh.
So it's pretty neat.
That's a way to defeat the boss.
Yep, so you don't, fight her traditionally, but it's still fun. And mind you, put an asterisk on this. So you can only do what I just did there, that speed strat. You can only do it on the sweet difficulty because she shoots faster on higher difficulties. You can't do it on mild or bitter. You can only do it on the lowest difficulty. And you cannot do it on the PS3 version at all. So it's a Wii / Switch / PC thing. But you should not play the PS3 version. See, I play the PS3 version so others don't have to. It's a bit of a mixed remake. It's not very good, it's not very ideal, but if nothing else, it's interesting. It has some interesting choices. Okay, I think we're coming up on another fan favorite. I've already seen some some comments in chat. We're going up to Bad Girl. And she is another one of my favorites as well. Probably top 3. She might be top 1. Quick run. Cat, alright. Bird, that sounds like a plane. Jeans on the fan, no, lots of good things. Hey, if you experience No More Heroes 3, or sorry, No More Heroes on the PS3, hey, the fact that you played a No More Heroes game at all, I salute you for that fact. It's not the ideal version, but you know, you still get the game, you still get the story.
You can move fast, just going from, you know, immediately on the fan down to playing with the toy and then right back on the fan.
I know, right? Yeah, I guess not really a weird thing. A funny thing is that in each game, Jean gains a lot of weight. It's kind of weird. Although, albeit in No More Heroes 2 has a sort of reason for that, in that in No More Heroes 2, there's a mini game where you actually exercise her. So that makes some sense, but I forget what her species or what breed of cat her is. It's something that Suda said. It's somewhere in the game. There's a specific breed, but can't quite recall what it is. All right, so I've been jumping this whole game, but this is actually the first time the game tells you to jump. And never mind the fact that this is a new game plus, it still tells us this is how you jump. All right, so I'm gonna do some fancy turning here. I'm gonna try not to crash. I'm doing this, so doing a quick turn, I'm tilting my Joy-Con in a specific direction and pressing the B button. I'm doing it like literally just flipping my rear button forward and back. So this is increasing my battery back to max each turn. And that was good.
Nice.
Thank you. Have I crashed yet? Am I on my bike? I don't think I have.
I don't think you have. I haven't seen it yet.
Nice. That was actually, truth be told, that was like in the back of my head. Like, I want to get through this run and not fall off the bike because it's kind of embarrassing. It's a waste of time, but I don't like. It's more of the embarrassment that I care about. So I'm not a baseball person. Suda is a baseball person, but I'm not. But I assume this does not happen in baseball. If it did, I'd be more interested.
It's been a while since I've been to a game, but I don't remember motorcycles being on a field.
Yeah, nothing against it. I'm just not a sports person, but. So, truth be told, I don't really understand this section too much. So there are 3 waves in the outfield and a bunch of waves in the infield, and I genuinely don't know how many enemies there are in the infield. I literally just, I run over enemies until they stop. So, I don't know, this is like one of the biggest time wasters in the run. It's not just the enemies there's so many of them, it's just sometimes they don't die. For a few enemies, you can run over them like 3 times, and they just don't die. I'm not sure if it's like a velocity thing, if you're not just fast enough when you're killing some of them, but there's a strat I learned from another No More Heroes runner, Damo. Shout outs to Damo, and he gave the tip that what you want to do is like take care of a wave in the outfield, and then go back to the infield, and hey, this enemy won't die. Go back to the infield, that gives a chance for the other enemies in the infield to spawn in. And yep, what did I say? Sometimes enemies just don't die. I've ran over him, what, 4 times? I genuinely don't know what's happening here. But, Well, anyway. And you can get knocked off. It hasn't happened in a run in a long time. It's happened, but not in a very long time. Because there you would have to, like, kill the enemies by hand, and it's, you know, it's a baseball field. It's big. And this is a short call. I don't have much time to explain, but Bad Girl, she is the 2nd ranked assassin. She has, when this game was released, she did not have a real name. She had no real name. Bad Girl was only her code name, and this is where she's one of the more, I guess you could say, pitiful assassins. She doesn't really have too much dimension to her. Like, it's clear that she's nothing but an assassin, and that disgusts traps. With every other assassin, has had something admirable about them. They're not just, a killing machine. And paradoxically, that makes her one of the more interesting assassins. That, what made her this way? She's sort of like burnt out, cynical. She's wearing a frilly pink dress, using a bat. And this is a really good fight, because I am getting all the parries. Okay, so she has a fake crying attack. So if her hand is on the bat, you get close to her, you die. Game over. If she does that crying, and both of her hands are on her face, you can't hit her. She's actually crying for real. And good fight.
Nice. GG. I didn't know about the crying for real bit.
Oh yeah, so the game does tell you. The game does tell you, but you have to die first.
Oh.
Then the game gives you a tip. Okay, and I'm gonna waste time here, but I want to point something out. Oh, camera. Oh, camera. The Chiller 7. Alright, I'm not sure if I spent more time... I'm not sure if I spent more time talking about, like, her character or fighting her. But, So I don't want to say too much, but, when I said earlier that, when this game released, she did not have a real name, but, we learned a little bit more about Bad Girl in Travis Strikes Again. So, if you have not played Travis Strikes Again, it is a great game. It's a Grasshopper anniversary game. I think it was their numbers how they were 20-something anniversary game. It's a very good game, and it also leads into No More Heroes 3, which is also a very good game.
I really enjoy the whole No More Heroes series.
Me too. I've been playing this game for over 10 years, so yeah. It's been a part of me. Alright, and here's where we learn that he tried to call this number. It turns out it's Sylvia's mom, and there actually really is no ranking anything. We're part of a con. We're conned out for our money. I'm part of Sylvia, but a good man finishes what he started, so we are going to fight the rank 1 boss. And you know what? Let's play with Jean one more time, because we are actually not going to see Jean again.
Oh, no.
So one more time.
Oh. Yeah.
Gotta do it.
Yeah.
There we go. Quickly leave. All right, time to get on our bike. Except not, because a bunch of Darth Vader lookalikes take our bike, so... I think most people, when they play this game, they were a little bit, not sure what the word is, not very enthusiastic about getting to the rank 1 fight, because you can see it on your map where it is. It's all the way at the other side of the city. But this is another thing that I learned from Satoryu, the segmented run. Many years ago, there's an exploit. So I'm going to K Entertainment. I'm going to a very specific assassination gig, and I have all of them unlocked. But you really don't need to for a New Game Plus speedrun. I'm simply running on a 100% file. But anyway, I selected this specific mission from K Entertainment. I go into the menu, side job, break it, cancel the mission. Now, in normal cases, this would be very annoying to cancel a mission, but we take advantage of the quirk that when you quit a mission, it teleports you outside of where that mission would have taken place. So we are right here.
Oh, wow.
So we don't need to run across the city. It's a very long walk. Even if you have the memory of child running power that I've been using, it's a very long time.
My castle.
So that saves time, even if you have to, go into the building.
Yeah.
Right, so here's the bike section. It's not too hard. What I'm doing here is I want to time my jumps because when I'm jumping, when I'm in the air, my boost doesn't go down. So there's really not much to it. I believe it was James Howell who made a video that showed that you could actually, even on the highest difficulty, you could literally just not touch any button, and you can make it to the end of the bike section without dying. Because you constantly move forward, even if you're not pressing a button, because it just moves you forward, so. But you do have to watch out. See, I deliberately let go of the boost button there because I could see that my boost was getting low, my jumping wasn't on par. There are motorcycle guys that are supposed to be knocking us down, or at least hitting us, but if you know you're doing well if you never see them. And there I got hit, nothing much I could do there. So far, haven't seen them, so I know I'm doing pretty well.
So is this No More Heroes tribute to Final Fantasy VII?
Yes. Go with that. I never played Final Fantasy VII, but I'll say yes. There we go. Yeah, there's not too much here. There's a small time save later with the QTE. I'm actually not sure if I want to do it because it's a very easy time save, but if I fail it, then that's a 2-minute time loss. So we'll see. I know. We'll see. Oh, yep. Motorcycle guys, very thinly veiled. Darth Vader reference.
You mean Dark Helmet?
Yes. I'm sorry, Dark Helmet reference.
Yeah. Referencing Spaceballs and such.
And they stop, and then we get a laser up here. The game doesn't justify the laser. Like, there's no story reason why there's a laser here. Maybe it's the ghost of Speed Buster trying to stop us because she had a giant laser. I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So time save here. Oh, I failed it. That's what I get.
No.
Oh well. More fun out. I did one move too many, so the way it works is that I was trying to do it. Essentially, you want to fail it twice, but I pressed the button one too many times. You want to fail it twice, and then after that, it gives you the QTE goes faster. So, oh well, I wanted to go for it. It's fairly new.
Yeah.
So it was discovered by Young, and we actually both failed it in each of our runs, in the past week. But I wanted to go for it, see if I get it. But you can't always win them.
It's been a great showcase so far, though. Chat's loving it.
Yes, thank you. Listen, I just want to be number one. Sometimes you have to make some sacrifices.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to reset every now and then to get number one.
So I guess while we are sadly retreading this, want to talk a little bit about this game, the speedrunning community. So we have I think I said it before, a very small but enthusiastic speedrunning community. We have a number of different categories of this game. My favorite category is any % new game, which is, you start from a fresh file. And I find that the most interesting category because, this category, it's fun, but it's very straightforward. It's essentially a boss rush category. So what I do is, just kill enemies. There's no grinding for money. Whereas in any % new game, there's a money route. There's some variable things. You have to do some routing on the fly. Bosses are longer than 20 seconds long, so either it's actually a fight. But yeah, we have a good community. It's not just No More Heroes 1. We have the Suda51 speedrunning Discord. So it's No More Heroes 1. There are a number of runners for No More Heroes 2. I think one could say that No More Heroes 2 has a slightly more active community, or at least it has more runners. We also have Killer 7. That's I would say No More Heroes 1 and Killer 7 are my two main speed games. I've done a few other games, but it's mainly Killer 7 and No More Heroes. And lately I've been in a No More Heroes mood. Alright, I'm gonna focus. I'm not gonna do the trick. I'm gonna do it like normal. Alright, we're good.
There we go.
Yeah, the trick, like I said, it's you fail it twice, and then it causes the rest of it to go fast. But it's fairly new. I decided to go for it, but it's new. Would've been cool, but run is still fun.
Yeah.
So now we are at the Guard of Madness, the Forest of Bewilderment. It's a concept that Suda 51 has used in other games. And you don't have to kill any enemy here. I knock them down just to make sure they don't hit me first, but we have our mentor, Thunder Ryu. He is a sort of lingering consciousness, and that's another concept that Suda 51 often uses in his run. This level is pretty simple, so one thing I want to say is that I mentioned earlier that I have a spreadsheet of Suda 51 interviews. I have a number of books. I have a lot of special editions. So I know a lot about Suda 51, and one fact that isn't very well known about him, and I think for those who do know, they sort of interpret it weirdly, but that Suda 51, before he was a game designer, he was actually an undertaker. And a lot of people say, oh, that's Suda 51. Of course it'd be something strange, but when you listen to him talk about it, as he was an undertaker, he mentions that he had a sort of he got a very interesting perspective, mortality, of life, of death. He got to see these people, after they'd already passed on. So you can see that in a lot of his games. There's a, lingering consciousness. The treatment of death, like Killer 7, you can revive certain characters, but then if one character a specific character dies, Garcia and Smith, if he dies, then the whole Killer 7 is dead. It's a game over. Here we have Thunder Ryu. He's a lingering consciousness. He's a remnant psyche. It's a Killer 7 term. He lingers on to help us.
That's a really interesting concept for that type of character.
Yeah, it's been fascinating to really go through a lot of these interviews and learning a lot about him as a creator, his sort of philosophies on life, on gaming. Like I mentioned, baseball is a motif, that he uses baseball a lot, and he mentioned it's because when he first moved to Tokyo, he would go to a batting cage. It would be a way to, clear his mind a bit. And batting cages and baseball, they show up in all of his games. Like it's in the very first game that Grasshopper ever released, the Silver Case. Like Suda 51 is constantly building upon his different concepts. He has a very core and firm sort of belief and idea of what he wants games to be. So this is another phone call. So we're going up against Darkstar, and he is the most blatant Spaceballs. I was about to say the wrong thing. He's a very blatant Spaceballs reference in that he is we heard a bit earlier when I entered this level. He a gravelly voiced guy, tall guy wearing a mask. When he walks in the cutscene, which we won't watch, he's like heavily breathing. He claims he's our father. And then Travis is like, listen, it doesn't matter. I gotta get to the end of this. I gotta get to the end of my story, end of my journey, end of the game.
I love you.
It's like, listen, it doesn't matter, man. And I could say a million things. I could talk for hours about just the ending alone. But the whole bit about it is that it's meant to be a parody of endings in media, endings in entertainment. Star Wars, Spaceballs was a big touchstone, and that has a lot of these similar tropes. But we're not actually fighting Darkstar. We're actually it's a bait and switch. We're fighting Gene, not the cat, the assassin. There's a big story. It's literally fast forward during the cutscene itself. But she is our half sister. She is the real reason why we've done these ranks. So this is a quick fight. Despite being the rank 1 boss fight, this is one of the most consistent fight in the games. if you don't like an attack of hers, you can slash it. So Jean is programmed to dodge any attack if you slash her. And when you slash her, if she dodges it, that gives you an attack that you could, cancel an attack, which you don't like. So that's what I did, and I just destroyed her with some low charge attacks. So it's not over yet, though. So we have one last boss. We have Henry.
Not
so this
Henry.
Yes, Henry. So this is the real final boss. So you can only get this boss after you get all of the katanas. You have to buy all the katanas, which of course we have. So I'm gonna go through this. I'm gonna hit real ending. And we're about to get killed by a pretty blatant analog of a Killer 7 character, but nope. Ooh, bad. And then we find him in the parking lot. So I have a very specific strat here. I do a parry, do a 1/parry after that. I do some regular combo hits that baits him into doing his regular combo. So I can do it, basically just keep him in a cycle. And there you go. GG. Oh, sorry, time.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
sorry. I got in the zone. Time. My apologies.
That all you got, Travis? Don't
And there you go. That is No More Heroes.
Enjoy
something.
that his
Why the hell do you call me Travis?
katana looks a lot like a
Like you're my
katana
friend or
from
something. Who the fuck do you think you are?
the newer Spaceballs
You
movies.
can't be serious.
Oh,
This time you didn't
yeah.
realize.
Because it's totally Spaceballs and nothing else, right?
Exactly. Of course, and we got Henry with his purple cross saber. It's a very nice one, and this cutscene is legendary. I'm not sure if we can watch all of it, but this is again more of the lampooning of game endings. Travis is revealed to be the half brother of Henry.
Where the hell is she? You mean my
And this is where we talk. Oh, hey, Sylvia's married to Henry.
wife? Yes, you know.
Yes, thank you all for the GGs.
Henry's
Yeah.
wife.
And I think we have a little bit of time if we
When
want to watch
did you
through
two
this.
get married?
Oh.
About 10 years ago. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's a classic scene. So I mentioned a lot of fun facts about this game, about characters, like their real names and whatnot.
I'm gonna need
And here he says, "Oh, I met Sylvia 10 years ago in college," but the card in this game says that Sylvia is 24 years old. So what? Did Sylvia go to college and when she was 14? It's meant to be that it's not necessarily meant to make straight logical sense. More of just part of the pile up of endings.
She could be very intelligent.
It's true too.
She's a bad wife, but a good one.
See, we're about to get the credits soon.
Are you telling
It's a great scene.
Oh, come on. But Travis, my brother, we're similar in many ways. You're right. Suddenly you being my brother doesn't sound so awkward. Let me ask you, how do you plan to put an end to all of this? Wait a sec. You want me to tie up all these loose ends? I don't think so. You're the protagonist. I'm just a cool, handsome foil who happens to be your twin brother. Hate to say it, but it's your job. I want to bail, but where the hell's the exit? There's no way out, is there? No getting out, right, bro? That's right. All we can do is keep running. Then let's find that exit they call paradise. Let's go!
Oh, classic ending.
Yeah.
I could, no joke, half the time, if not like all the time when I'm doing a run, I tend to mute myself when I get to this just to let the cutscene play, but I am like saying all of the words with them. I know this scene like front and back. Oh, classic stuff, classic thing.
And the music has such like a kind of like an 80s vibe to it as well.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, thank you so much for showcasing that amazing, just wow run of No More Heroes. I have to make sure I say it right this time. And I know you mentioned earlier about the Discord and everything else along those lines. If anyone was interested, if maybe they came in at the last second, they were like, yeah, let's go ahead and go. Where would they be interested in going?
Oh, well, yeah, like I said, the Discord itself, we also, if you go on speedrun.com, we have the Discord link there. We also have a bunch of runs there that you can study. I have a speedrun guide, albeit it's for a new game. be a different category, but a lot of it carries over. But if you do want to learn about No More Heroes speedrunning, you want to do some of this, or maybe look into see what the other runs are. The Suda51 speedrunning Discord is the best place. I also have a YouTube channel where I upload a lot of my runs. So I'm pretty active in this game. I tend to go back and forth between this game and Killer 7. But yeah, just check out my stream, check out any of the other streams of the other runners, and yeah, we're very friendly to newcomers.
All right. Well, thank you so very much for that time. And thank you all, chat, for coming in and enjoying the bargain bin. We're not done here on Game Zone Quick, though. Coming up at the top of the hour is Speedruns from the Crypt. We'll showcasing the Dreamcast game D2 and Resident Evil 2. So now's a great time to get some water, use the restroom, get a snack, cozy on up for Speedrun.